Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm excited to delve into the world of gaming with an in-depth look at an intriguing new game known as HeartWood Online. Now, keep in mind that this game is currently in its early access stage with just 6 ratings on the Apple App Store. With that said, let's dive right into it. Upon launching the game, one of the first things that strikes you is its minimalist appearance. The user interface adopts a clean and straightforward design, although it may lack some of the intricate elements we're accustomed to. Even the logos within the game seem to lack that creative spark and almost resemble default buttons. While it's essential to remember that HeartWood Online is still in early access, these subtle details are hard to overlook. One positive aspect worth highlighting is the availability of multiple login options. Whether you're an Apple user or prefer to game on Steam, HeartWood Online accommodates both preferences seamlessly. Additionally, the presence of the dedicated Discord server offers a reliable platform for any assistance you might require during your gaming journey. As we move forward, I'll be delving deeper into various aspects of HeartWood Online, providing you with a comprehensive understanding of its gameplay, mechanics, and potential for growth. So stay tuned for more exciting insights in this video. Once the play button is clicked, the journey begins with character creation. For me, personalizing my character is a major aspect of any game, making character customization a significant factor. However, it's essential to note that this game doesn't offer the extensive customization I usually seek. When it comes to hair, there are merely 9 options available, with only about 3 catering to female characters. Similarly, there are 5 hair colors and 4 skin tones to choose from. I must admit that this lack of customization did dampen my initial excitement for the game. Nonetheless, it's worth mentioning that many players might not prioritize character customization to the extent that I do, and that's perfectly okay. The next step involves selecting a class, offering 4 distinct choices: Warrior, Rogue, Priest, and Wizard. Currently, these classes don't boast exceedingly unique abilities, and even after investing several hours, you'll only unlock 2 distinctive abilities for each class. To illustrate, my experience as a priest involves starting with a universally available healing spell, followed by a mildly potent area of effect healing ability. It's evident that the skills provided are somewhat basic and, in my opinion, won't drastically alter gameplay dynamics based on your chosen class. Similarities among these abilities across different classes can indeed be a bit limiting. Now, let's get into the realm of graphics. Given that this is a pixel art MMO, the visual experience is adequate but not particularly exceptional. I had hoped for a bit more in this department. As someone who deeply values the role-playing aspect of MMOs, I looked forward to exploring diverse locales, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying leisurely chats with guildmates. Regrettably, HeartWood Online falls short in this regard. The environment seems to be plagued by monotony, with an abundance of identical bridges, trees, and rocks that give off a copy and paste vibe. The absence of interactive elements is noticeable, with a dearth of objects to engage with or places to leisurely sit down. The charm of serene ponds or tranquil lakes, so often found in other games, is completely absent. It becomes evident that everything within the game serves a singular purpose: grinding. While a clear sense of purpose can be commendable, HeartWood Online appears to be limited by this very aspect. Regrettably, there's a conspicuous absence of that extra layer of depth or aesthetics that will allow a player to truly appreciate and marvel at the world's beauty. Let's move on to the playability aspect. The mechanics are generally satisfactory, but there are certain challenges that need addressing. One of the trickier aspects revolves around aiming abilities accurately. The process requires facing the desired direction and then casting the ability, which can occasionally lead to accidental attraction of more adversaries. This unintended consequence can be quite bothersome and sometimes hampers the overall experience. Another thing is the presence of a sizable chat box right in the center of the screen. Although I attempted to remove it, I wasn't able to find a solution. Aside from this, the controls themselves are decent, and there's potential for them to be presented in a more visually appealing manner in the future, adding to the overall aesthetics of the game. When it comes to playing with friends, however, the experience is not without its struggles. The situation is compounded by players spawning in different worlds and servers, making it a challenge to connect with each other. My friend and I, for instance, had to resort to closing and reopening the game multiple times to find each other. The in-game user interface is in dire need of improvement, as it currently fails to serve a meaningful purpose. Unfortunately, there isn't much of a silver lining when it comes to partying up with others. The process can be cumbersome, taking up to 30 minutes or even longer. Unless I've missed a more efficient method, I'm left hoping that the viewers will enlighten me in the comment section below. Looking ahead, I'm optimistic that these issues will be addressed in future updates, enhancing the game's collaborative gameplay potential. Now, let's dive into the gameplay, which might be the aspect in need of the most improvement. As you initially step into the game, your surroundings are quite limited. A solitary NPC, a bank, and a merchant for buying and selling. The quest system has its quirks as well. For a certain period, you can only acquire quests from a single NPC, and unfortunately, these quests tend to be repetitive and monotonous. The central theme revolves around repeatedly eliminating different sets of mobs, and there's a glaring absence of a coherent storyline. The lack of interactions between NPCs further contributes to the overall sense of tedium. While crafting weapons and armor is an option, the process doesn't provide the necessary engagement to motivate players to grind for materials. This is particularly true considering that the core gameplay loop revolves around repeating quests that merely increase in difficulty. The quest system's heavy reliance on RNG, random number generation, can lead to hours of fruitless hunting for specific drops, which ultimately dampens the enjoyment. The overall experience can become rather unexciting, leading to boredom setting in relatively quickly. While the game may cater to those who don't mind repetitive grinding, I personally found it hard to stay engaged for extended periods. Being an enthusiast of MMORPGs myself, I strongly believe that there's room for improvement in this area. Now, let's talk about in-game purchases, where some interesting dynamics come into play. It's important to note that there doesn't seem to be anything here that would grant an unfair advantage in the game, which is commendable. However, when it comes to cosmetics, things take quite a turn. The pricing for these cosmetic items can be rather perplexing. While there are a few mounts available at an affordable price point of $5, the majority amounts seem to fall within the staggering range of $30 to $100. This pricing strategy does raise some eyebrows and might come across as quite extraordinary. The situation is no different when it comes to altering your character's appearance. Changing hairstyles can set you back as much as $22, while hair color changes can go up to $10. I do acknowledge that developers require a sustainable revenue stream, and cosmetic items seem to be a reasonable avenue for generating income. However, I'm inclined to agree that the pricing structure, especially for items like mounts, can feel excessive and out of touch. It's worth considering whether the time and effort invested in creating a multitude of high-priced mounts might be better spent on developing more unique gameplay elements or crafting compelling storyline. This perspective raises valid questions about the direction the game is taking and how it aims to appeal to players. It appears that the developers had laid out a checklist of updates they intend to implement. However, there's a discernible concern about the pacing of these updates and whether they are adequately addressing the game's fundamental aspects. From my perspective, it seems that the focus might be shifting towards rapid expansion rather than refining the core elements. In my opinion, it might be beneficial for the developers to considering revisiting the basics and ensuring that they are finely tuned before progressing further. This step back to the drawing board could help establish a strong foundation and prevent the game from feeling rushed or like a mere attempt to capitalize on player enthusiasm. However, it's important to acknowledge that if the developers truly commit to the game's growth, there's genuine potential for it to evolve into a more enjoyable and exceptional experience. The ideas they've proposed hold promise, particularly the concept of player housing, which could introduce a unique dynamic and attract a significant influx of new players. As the game continues its journey, I remain optimistic that the developers will move ahead with a steadfast dedication to fulfilling their goals. The remarkable concepts they've introduced deserve attention, and I eagerly anticipate their transformation into tangible features that enhance the overall gameplay. My hope is for the development team to maintain their momentum, forging ahead while ensuring that each step contributes to the game's improvement and long-term success. Feel free to share your own thoughts on the game's progress and potential in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and peace.